I wasn't snooping, let's get that straight. I was 3 months postpartum, living in leggings I hadn't washed in days, with boobs that leaked on schedule like a busted coffee machine, and a sleep schedule that made my dog pity me. The last thing on my mind was playing Sherlock Holmes in my own damn closet. And yet there I was, 8 a.m., baby screaming in the bassinet, breast pump humming in one ear, and a piece of crimson lace in my hand that looked like it belonged in a Victoria's Secret Valentine's Day ad. It wasn't mine. It sure as hell wasn't Target. And it definitely didn't belong in the back corner of my sock drawer. So yeah, that was the first clue. Let me rewind for a second. My name's Emily, 32, suburban mom, formerly a graphic designer. Currently a walking burp cloth with dark circles deeper than my student loan debt. My husband, Jason, and I just had our first baby, a little girl named Zoe. She's squishy and perfect and had colic from day 3 like she read about it in a parenting book and committed. Things got hard, and I mean hard. Sleep deprivation turned me into a walking zombie, and Jason, God love him, was trying. Sort of. He was working late, eating all his meals out, and somehow always had energy for the gym but never for a diaper change. At first, I thought I was the problem. Hormones, baby blues, maybe I was too controlling, maybe I didn't trust him enough. Maybe I was turning into one of those wives who complained on Facebook mom groups while hiding cookie dough in their nursing bras. So when he offered to hire help, a nanny, he said, I didn't protest. In fact, I felt relief. Finally, someone who could hold Zoe while I showered. Someone who could give me 20 freaking minutes to remember what hot coffee tastes like. He insisted on handling the interviews. You've got enough on your plate, he said, kissing my forehead like a Hallmark husband. Let me take care of it. And just like that, she appeared. Her name was Lara. At least, that's what Jason told me. I never interviewed her, never got her last name, and somehow never even got her number. He handled all of it. She arrived one morning while I was mid-pump, breezed past me with a smile and a tray of smoothies. Jason said you might need a little boost today, and slipped into baby care like she was auditioning for a nanny reality show. She was good, too good. Zoe loved her. She was warm, playful, knew how to swaddle like a pro. She called me Mama Bear and made fresh juice from actual fruit, and I just floated, slept, shaved, had a real meal. It almost felt too good to be true. Spoiler, it was. But let's go back to the underwear. That piece of lingerie wasn't mine, and the moment I touched it, my body knew something was off. It wasn't the color, I own red. It wasn't the size, though this one looked generous in all the right places. It was the style. A high-cut, strappy thing with satin panels and lace trim, the kind of underwear that says, take me off slowly. Not the kind of thing a postpartum mom keeps in her drawer full of granny panties. I froze, holding it like it might explode. And then I made the mistake of smelling it. Vanilla and musk, subtle but expensive. I didn't own perfume anymore, sensitive baby skin and all that. But this was unmistakably her. I did confront Jason right away. I wish I had. But part of me still clung to denial like a toddler to a pacifier. I wanted to believe maybe it fell out of a shopping bag. Maybe she changed clothes here once and forgot. Maybe it was some bizarre laundry mix-up. You know what that is? That's what women do when we're conditioned to believe the benefit of the doubt is somehow noble. That suspicion makes us crazy. That trusting blindly makes us better. I wish I'd gone full crazy. Because what I didn't know, what was already happening under my nose, makes red lace look like a Disney subplot. At first, I tried to laugh it off. I even texted my best friend Becca a picture of the lingerie with the caption, "Do nannies usually strip down on duty, or am I just old-fashioned?" Becca responded with 4 skull emojis and then, "Girl, confront him. Yesterday." But I didn't, not yet. Because things got weird, like Lifetime movie weird. Lara kept showing up earlier and earlier. I'd wake up, still in a breast milk-stained tank top, and she'd already be in the kitchen, humming while slicing organic strawberries. Jason let me in, She'd say casually, like it was totally normal to use our alarm code without my knowledge. I started feeling like a guest in my own house. Lara moved around it with this smooth, quiet authority, like she'd memorized every drawer and shelf in secret. She even brought a blanket for the baby that smelled just like her, vanilla and musk, and tucked it into Zoe's crib like she was christening it. Jason, for his part, was suddenly glowing. That's the only way I can describe it. He'd been sluggish, irritable, emotionally MIA for weeks, but now he was chipper, energized. He started coming home from work early, said he was delegating more, started leaving protein shakes in the fridge labeled for my queen. Cute, right? Except one morning, I caught Lara drinking one. She laughed when I pointed it out. "Oh, he always brings extras," she said with a wink. "He says I burn calories like a hummingbird." That moment stuck in my gut like bad sushi. I told Jason, I tried to joke, "Maybe label your romantic smoothies, babe." He just kissed me and said, "You're jealous of the help now." It wasn't the words, it was the way he said help. Like she wasn't a person, like she was a tool he'd installed, like I was the one acting ungrateful for even asking. But the real tipping point came at night. See, we'd moved Zoe into the nursery down the hall. We had a baby monitor set up, and while Jason claimed he never heard it, I did. Every squeak, every gurgle, every little breath. One night around 11:30, I heard voices. Soft, low, not Zoe's, not mine. At first, I thought it was static. Then I heard my name. "She's always tired now. You said this would be temporary." It was Lara. Her voice was unmistakable. Then Jason, SHH, just a few more months. Don't make this complicated. I bolted upright, heart racing, monitor shaking in my hand. I rewound the recording, played it again. Same words, same coldness. And then, laughter. Her giggle, his groan. And then silence. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the floor of the hallway outside Zoe's room with the monitor pressed to my ear, as if I could will more truth to come out. In the morning, I watched Jason leave for the gym, towel over his shoulder like nothing had happened. Lara arrived 20 minutes later in the same hoodie she wore yesterday, hair tousled in that I had a good night way. She smelled like him. I wanted to scream, rip her perfect ponytail out, ask her if her vanilla perfume came with betrayal built in. But I didn't. Instead, I started playing dumb, watching, taking notes. I set up a second baby monitor, one with video. I placed it behind the stuffed animals in the nursery, pointed toward the hallway. And then I waited. What I saw that week made me physically ill. Jason would leave for errands and return 20 minutes later, sweaty but not from weights. Lara would emerge from the guest room adjusting her bra. Once, I saw them kiss in the hallway. My hallway. The one I paced with Zoe during her colic nights. The one where I said I loved him after my water broke. It was all happening right there, in my house, on the same floor as my sleeping baby. And the worst part, they were careful, almost professional. She still folded my laundry. She still called me Mama Bear. She still kissed Zoe's forehead with practiced sweetness. Meanwhile, Jason made dinner reservations and bought me flowers like I was some oblivious princess in a bad rom-com. They had a whole script. I was just reading the wrong lines. But I wasn't going to be their background character anymore. Nope. I was about to flip the script, page by page, and make damn sure the next act ended on my terms. You ever have one of those moments where your entire body decides, nope, not today, Satan? For me, it was during Zoe's tummy time on the living room floor. Lara was on her knees beside her, singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider like she'd invented the damn song, while Jason leaned in the doorway, arms crossed, soaking in his little fake family like he was auditioning for a Pampers commercial. I stood there, holding the hidden baby monitor in one hand and my phone in the other, watching the video I'd recorded the night before. Jason, Lara, his shirt off, her laugh, their shadows moving against the nursery wall. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I smiled. Because I had a plan. That night, while Jason was at his work dinner, a booty call with a built-in childcare plan, I pulled out Zoe's baby photo album, the one Lara loved flipping through when guests came over. Such a sweet touch, she'd say, fingers trailing over the pastel pages like she actually gave a crap about milestones. So I added a new page, titled it Moments We'll Never Forget. And I printed 3 screenshots from the monitor. Black and white, grainy but unmistakable. One of Jason's bareback walking out of the guest room, one of Lara fixing her hair in the hallway mirror, and the last, her panties on the nursery floor. Red, lacy, framed like art. I slid them in right before Zoe's first bath photo, sealed the album shut, placed it back on the coffee table, and waited. The next morning was magical. Lara came in humming, she was always humming, like guilt made her musical, kissed Zoe's head, and sat on the couch with her kale smoothie while flipping open the album. She got to the page and just stopped. Her face drained like someone yanked her soul out through her pores. She looked up, I met her eyes. Something wrong? I asked, sweet as Splenda. She blinked, closed the album, smiled. No, just got emotional, I guess. Jason walked in right then, smelling like aftershave and gaslighting. Lara turned to him and said, "Can I talk to you? Upstairs." I gave it 10 minutes. Then I walked up. They were in our bedroom, door cracked, whispers escalating. She knows, Lara hissed. She knows. She's bluffing, Jason said. She would have said something. She showed me pictures, Jason. Pictures. A silence. Then Jason, of us. No genius of my aura, yes of us. I knocked twice and pushed the door open. Lara jumped like I was the Grim Reaper. Jason straightened, eyes darting to the closet like the truth might be hiding in my shoes. I see you found the scrapbook, I said, stepping in like I paid the mortgage, which I did. You've been spying on us, he snapped. Spying? I raised an eyebrow. That's rich. I was monitoring my child. You brought a sex instructor into our home. Lara flinched, he blinked, like I'd said Voldemort. Yeah, I said it, because that was the final nail in the sanity coffin. Lara wasn't just some flirty babysitter with daddy issues. She was Jason's ex, not ex-girlfriend, not ex-fling. She was his former sex therapist/intimacy coach, who he saw for a few sessions after a dry spell 2 years ago. And apparently, the only thing that dried up was his conscience. I only found out because Zoe's pediatrician mentioned her once. Is that the same Lara who used to teach tantric seminars at that yoga studio on 8th? One reverse Google search later, I had her bio, her Yelp reviews, her archived blog, Unblocking the Heart Chakra Through Ethical Seduction. Ethical, my ass. Jason turned it back on me, of course. You're spying, you're unstable. This isn't healthy for Zoe. Oh, really? I said, arms crossed. Because your plan to raise our daughter between orgasms and almond milk sounds so balanced. Lara tried to leave. I blocked the doorway. No, I said, holding up my phone. You don't leave until I say so. That's how babysitting works, right? Jason called me crazy. I let him. Because crazy women are the ones who survive, who document, who prepare court exhibits in real time. I stepped back, let Lara pass. Then I turned to Jason. You have 24 hours to get out. I want the spare keys, the nanny cam footage, backed up in 3 clouds, and if you so much as try to lawyer up, remember whose name is on every account. He didn't move. So I stepped closer. Oh, and Jason, I whispered, you might want to tell your little girlfriend to check the closet. She left something behind. His brow furrowed. Lingerie, I said, top shelf, next to my dignity, which, funnily enough, still fits me just fine. Then I walked out. Because queens don't beg, they build bonfires. And mine was just getting started. You know how some men think a bouquet of hydrangeas can reverse betrayal? Jason does. 2 days after I kicked him out, he showed up at the door with a ridiculous vase full of flowers. Not roses, hydrangeas. Big, puffed-up, empty-headed flowers that wilt after 2 days. How poetic. He held Zoe's favorite stuffed bunny in one hand and a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc in the other, like he was starring in some rom-com for the emotionally damaged. "Just hear me out," he said. I didn't move, didn't open the screen door, just stared at him through it like I was talking to a door-to-door scammer. "I messed up," he started. "You're right, but Lara meant nothing." I actually laughed. "Jason," I said, "you let someone who used to coach your orgasms move into our home under the title of nanny. You let her touch our child. You let her touch me. And now you want me to hear you out." He looked like a child caught cheating on a math test and trying to convince the teacher it was just collaborative problem solving. "Can I just see Zoe?" he whispered. I didn't say no, but I didn't say yes either. Instead, I said, "You can FaceTime your daughter during daylight hours. And next time you show up here unannounced, I'll assume you're here for Lara's panties and call the cops accordingly." He stood there blinking. "You're being cruel," he said. "Wrong," I replied. "I'm being me, just with better lighting." He left the bunny and wine on the porch. I donated both. But that wasn't the end of it, oh no. Over the next week, I got texts like clockwork. "I can't sleep without you. We can go to therapy. Zoe deserves a whole family. Lara is out of the picture." That last one made me pause. Out of the picture. Did he fire her? Did she quit? Or did they just upgrade to a hotel? I didn't ask. I didn't need to ask. Because one morning, while sorting Zoe's laundry, I found a crumpled receipt in the hamper. A spa treatment, a mani-pedi, and a couple's Reiki healing session, all charged to our joint account. Guess whose name was on the check-in? Jason and Lara. The woman was out of the picture, all right, just not the photo. And that's when it hit me. Photos. Not the cutesy ones, not Zoe's first bath or her avocado-smeared face. Real ones, the kind that tell the truth. I started collecting. Every piece of lingerie she left behind. Every receipt Jason was dumb enough to charge to our shared card. Screenshots from the baby monitor. A copy of Lara's now-deleted blog post titled "Sacred Intimacy in Spaces That Heal" with a location tag. From my guest room. I made a folder on my desktop labeled receipts. But I wanted more than a folder. I wanted a show. And I knew exactly when to debut it. Zoe's first birthday was coming up. We'd already planned a small party. Just close friends, some family, a bouncy house, and cupcakes with way too much frosting. The theme, wonderful memories. So I leaned in. I went full Pinterest mom. Ordered custom decorations, rented a projector, and told guests to send in their favorite memories with Zoe for a surprise slideshow at the end. Jason was still invited. He begged for that. "Just let me celebrate her," he said. "Fine, celebrate. Let's see how festive you feel when the lights go out." But I had one last thing to do before the show began. I needed a finale. So I did something bold, maybe petty, maybe genius. I took a photo of Lara's lingerie, the one I first found in my closet, and laid it out on our bed, just like they must have done after nanny duties. I put Zoe's baby monitor in frame. Then I added a little tag next to it, written in gold Sharpie. Guess who's babysitting now? Snap. Saved. Uploaded. Final slide secured. It was all coming together now. And I didn't feel shame, or guilt, or even pain. I felt ready. Ready to burn the lies down to ash, in front of everyone, at a baby's birthday. Because if I learned anything this year, it's this. Some men think you'll always stay quiet. Until your silence shows up in a slideshow. You'd think I was planning a wedding, not a baby's birthday. I color-coded a spreadsheet. I built a timeline. I practiced my smiles in the mirror just to make sure they didn't look like murder. And I told myself every single day, this is for Zoe. Not revenge, not Jason, not Lara, just Zoe. Lie. It was revenge. And I was going to serve it frosted, filtered, and with a side of public humiliation. The party started like any other suburban kid's celebration. Balloons, a cake shaped like a teddy bear, my college roommate brought face paint, someone's kid screamed over juice, someone else spilled guacamole on the bouncy house. And Jason, oh, Jason was on, wearing a crisp shirt, hair gelled, holding Zoe like he hadn't cheated in the guest room 20 feet away. He introduced himself to every guest like it was his house, hugged my cousin, charmed my coworkers, waved at my mom. Snake in Patagonia. Then, of course, he handed me a gift bag. From both of us, he said. I froze. Us? I asked. His smile flickered, just a beat. Me and Zoe, he recovered, just something small. Inside, a necklace, gold, my name in cursive. So sweet, so fake. I love it, I said, loud enough for people nearby to hear. He smiled. Then I leaned in and whispered, hope you love the slideshow just as much. His smile cracked, a hairline fracture, I saw it, felt it. The room buzzed with energy. Kids tearing wrapping paper, moms comparing daycares, Jason pretending his life wasn't about to implode. And then, my favorite words. Everyone, gather around, it's slideshow time. We dimmed the lights, projector on. The screen filled with Zoe's gummy smile. Her first yawn, her first bath, a clip of her trying to crawl. Guests were like a choir of angels. Jason moved closer to me, smug. Lara, notably, wasn't invited, but I had a feeling she was watching. One of our mutuals still followed her on Instagram, and let's just say, her story had suspicious balloons in the background that exactly matched mine. Then the tone shifted. The music slowed, the slide faded. And text appeared. Memories we didn't plan for. First photo, Jason shirtless walking out of the guest room. Blurry, unmistakable. Second photo, Lara in the hallway mirror adjusting her bra. Gasps. Someone said, is that? Third photo, lingerie, red posed, framed. Then the final slide. The bed, the panties, the tag. Guess who's babysitting now? A silence. Like the whole backyard had stopped breathing. Jason stood frozen. Becca dropped her wine. My aunt said, oh my God. Then the lights came back on. Jason turned to me, pale, jaw clenched. You did this, he hissed. No, I said, stepping up beside him. You did this. I just added transitions and music. He looked around, eyes darting, as if anyone might save him. But they didn't. Because at that exact moment, Lara walked in. Yes, in, like she'd been waiting outside for the cue. She was wearing sunglasses, a dress I swear she once wore on her deleted blog's boudoir shoot, hair curled, lip glossed. And she saw the screen, saw the last slide still hanging behind us, her underwear, our bed, that line. Her face went sheet white. Some kid pointed and said, is that your nanny, mommy? And that was it. I've never seen a woman reverse out of a backyard, that fast without tripping on a lawn flamingo. Jason followed her, like a dog chasing a car. I stayed behind. Zoe was in my arms, clapping at the pretty pictures. The crowd slowly dispersed. Some gave me hugs, others avoided eye contact. One mom whispered, honestly, he deserved it. I didn't cry. Not then. Not until the house was empty, the cake was dry, and Zoe finally slept. Then I sat on the kitchen floor, in my party dress, surrounded by streamers and crushed juice boxes, and just exhaled. Not grief. Not shame. A relief. Because I'd finally said what needed saying. Without screaming, without begging. Just pictures, just truth. And tomorrow the internet would do the rest. Because Becca, she uploaded that slideshow to TikTok. And by midnight, Guess Who's Babysitting Now was trending. The next morning, I woke up before Zoe. The house was quiet, still smelled faintly of frosting and anxiety. My phone had 92 notifications. Becca's post had gone viral. The slideshow, set to Billie Eilish's "What Was I Made?" making the rounds on TikTok, Insta, even Facebook, where my aunt had commented, "Proud of you, sweetie. Call me when you need bail." It wasn't just the views. It was the comments. Hundreds of women, strangers, saying same, saying thank you, saying you said what we were never allowed to. One woman wrote, "She turned humiliation into holy vengeance and served it on a monogrammed platter." Another, "This is how you end a marriage, with slides, not sobbing." And my favorite, "Guess who's sleeping better now? Her." I didn't reply, I didn't need to. I just held Zoe against my chest and whispered, "We're okay." Not perfect, not whole, but okay. Jason tried calling, twice. I didn't answer. Then he texted, "Hope you're proud of yourself." I just heart-reacted it. That was the last message he sent. He moved in with a coworker, last I heard. Not Lara. She kind of vanished from the socials, deleted her Instagram, shut down her coaching site. Maybe she's out there starting over. Maybe she's still scrubbing lingerie labels in shame. Not my business. I didn't take him to court. I didn't need the money. He offered a settlement when he realized the slideshow was admissible evidence. I bought a new coffee machine, started freelancing again, got a babysitter I picked myself, a lovely woman named Camilla, whose idea of seduction is baking banana bread in mom jeans. Zoe's thriving. She claps whenever I play the slideshow song. No idea what it means, just thinks it's pretty. And me. I'm not who I was. Before Zoe, I was scared to speak up, scared to rock the boat, scared to lose what I had. After Zoe, I realized some things need to sink. Because what's the point of a marriage if the only person in it being honest is the one getting lied to? What's the point of love if it comes with locks on your own closet? What's the point of silence if it only protects the guilty? I didn't burn down my house, I lit up the truth. And sure, I'm the woman who exposed her husband's affair at a child's birthday party. But you know what else I am. I'm the woman who stopped apologizing for making people uncomfortable. Because discomfort is where truth lives. And truth fits me better than any lingerie ever could. So if you're reading this, wondering if you should stay silent, wondering if it's too much to speak up, wondering if anyone will believe you, let me be the last slide in your story. Guess who's babysitting now? Me. Myself. And I've got me now. Fully, fiercely, finally. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.